Hi students, last session in natural resources we discussed two important renewable resources, those are forest and soil, and we are also discussed about the conservation methods of forest and soil. Now today in this session let us know about few more important resources. The first one is biodiversity and about the fossil fuels, minerals, and finally the conservation techniques of these natural resources. So let us start our session with biodiversity. So biodiversity means variety and variability of living forms on earth. Variety and variability of living forms on earth. So see here on screen the definition of biodiversity. So see here different kinds of organisms you are seeing, living forms. The number of variety of plants, animals and other organisms that exist in an ecosystem is known as biodiversity. So different kinds of plants and animals are present, microbes are also present, all these will exist in an ecosystem, then that only we considered as biodiversity. It is a measure of the variety of organisms present in different ecosystems. Each and every ecosystem won't consist same kind of organisms. Different ecosystems consist different types of organisms. The richness of biodiversity depend on the climatic conditions and area of the region. So the biodiversity depends upon the climatical conditions. If the climatical conditions are suitable, we are able to observe different forms of living things. If the conditions are not suitable, that means if it is desert, you can't see many more organisms, you can't see much more diversity. If it is tundra zone, if it is a frozen area, then in that areas also you can't see the different types of living forms. So climatical conditions are essential for seeing different forms of living things in the ecosystem. Biodiversity is the result of 3.5 billion years of evolution. So this biodiversity doesn't came within one day or within few years. 3.5 billion years of evolution is the result of biodiversity. So such a way the biodiversity indicates the variety and variability of the organisms. But nowadays these organisms are decreasing day by day. So the current extinction rate, if you observe, that it is 1000 times than the normal rate. So in that much way we are disturbing the environment and so many organisms are going to extinct. Extinct means we can't see that organism once again on the earth. So many organisms are going to extinct, that is because of the human activities only. That is because of the disturbance in the biodiversity only. So how many organisms are extinct? You can't say, because still we don't know how many species are present on the earth. Still scientists are discovering several new species. The best example we are able to see the Panama. In Panama, 19 trees, on 19 trees, scientists observed 1200 species of different beetles. I understand, 1200 species of beetles. In that 80% are unknown. 80% they don't know up to that. Only on 19 trees 1200 types, varieties of beetles are present, means you are able to understand how many species are present in our surroundings. How many different kinds of organisms are present in our surroundings. Not only the animals, not only the small insects and all, even though in plants also we are able to see the diversity. So if you observe in our surroundings, herbs are present, shrubs are present, plants, trees, creepers, climbers, different varieties you are able to see in the plant species also. If you observe in these plants, 15,000 to 70,000 varieties of plants we are using in medicines. So we are preparing different kinds of medicines, drugs, different kinds of things we are preparing to cure the diseases. So in that we are utilizing 50,000 to 70,000 varieties of plants. Then you are able to understand the variety and variability of the living forms in our surroundings. Now let us see The threats of biodiversity, how we are spoiling this biodiversity, habitat destruction, we are drilling the mountains, we are taking the mineral source from the soil, and we are deforestating the forest area. All these are responsible for habitat destruction. Totally we are clearing that area. So how many plants, animals, different species are present in that area? All those are losing their shelter. Global climate change. So because of the human activities, temperatures are increasing, natural calamities are occurring in a sudden manner. These all are also showing lot of effect on ecosystem. So such a kind of climatical changes are also responsible for biotic change. Habitat fragmentation from human activity reduces the ability of habitat to support the species. Habitats actually helps for the survivability of the species. But when we started to destruct the habitats, then obviously so many organisms are extinct. That is because of the habitat destruction and pollution. So you know very well, we are day by day increasing the globalization, urbanization, industrialization, and we are doing mining, and we are following different agricultural practices, and we are using different synthetic substances. All these are responsible for soil, water and air pollution. In all these areas different organisms are present, so obviously they are going to extinct. Overexploitation, this includes the illegal wildlife trade as well as overfishing, logging of tropical hardwoods, etc. So overexploitation, so how, for each and every organism to replenish in the environment, it takes some time. But we are not giving that much time also to the organisms to replenish. We are taking, we are using, we are misusing, we are overusing these organisms, so that it leads to overexploitation. Alien species introduced by humans to regions where there are no natural predators. So we are introducing some kind of new organisms into the environment to control the pests or to get a high productivity or anything, whatever the reason it may be. Some exotic species we are introducing in our areas. So because of that alien species, so many native varieties are going to extinct. Disease. Reduction in habitat causing high population densities encourages spread of diseases. So reduction in habitat, area is reducing, we are destructing, we are polluting. All these are leads to some of the organisms are going in high range, the population is increasing. Because of those organisms, remaining organisms are unable to survive and they are dying. So in this way different diseases are also spread, that is because of the human activities, and ecosystems are disturbing, total environment is disturbing, and several organisms are going to extinct, that is because of the human activities. This biodiversity is highly helpful for us, but without realizing that fact, we are disturbing the biodiversity. So how it is useful? Living things are interdependent. Each and every organism also depend on another organism. How much we are developed also, human individually can't survive. We need the help of different plants, different animals, different microbes. So each and every organism is also have a interlink and a coordination with another organisms. Populations are adapted to live together in communities. So populations are also adapted to live together. They are forming groups and they are living. Biodiversity can bring stability to an ecosystem. When all types of organisms are present, then only ecosystem is able to maintain in a balanced manner. Otherwise imbalance will form. Next, importance of biodiversity to people. How we are able to use this biodiversity. Humans depend on other organisms for their needs. Obviously, always we are depend on others because we are heterotrophs, first thing, and second thing, without the help of remaining organisms, any one of the organism also can't survive on earth. And only a few species of plants and animals supply the major portion of the food eaten by the human population. So we are living with the food material, that food material we are getting from plants and animals. So totally we are the dependents on other organisms. Biodiversity could help breeders produce additional food crops. So this is also helps, different insects are helps for pollination, and different kinds of animals are helps for seed dispersal and all and all. So different organisms helps to the humans, especially in the food crops. Biodiversity can be used to improve people's health, since living things supply the world pharmacy. So without any diseases we are living means all the conditions are in a balanced manner. When it is in a balanced condition, so when we are without disturbance, when we are able to lead our life, then only we are able to survive. If you are disturbed any one of the organism, if you are eliminates any kind of organism from the earth, that it disturbs the entire ecosystem, because every organism depend on another organism. Even a small insect also helps for us. Even small organism also helps for us. If only one organism is eliminated from the earth, what it will happen? If you think like that, we can't survive. That area, that food chain will break and total ecosystem will collapse. So biodiversity is essential to the nature as well as to the humans also. So that's why we need to protect the biodiversity without any threat. So how can we conserve the biodiversity? Main important thing it is that prevent the cutting of trees. So we shouldn't deforestate the area. Putting a ban or hunting of animals for fun and for entertainment. We shouldn't kill any kind of organism in the environment. We shouldn't disturb the wildlife. Efficient utilization of natural resources. How much we need, that much only we need to use. More than that, if we use, that it will bring scarcity, particularly to that natural resource. Protected areas should be developed for animals where no human activities are allowed. If you are visit any forest area, then you are able to see some boards nearby that this is a reserved forest area. So here the animals, this so and so animals are present, don't hunt those organisms, like that. So here the government help also must and should to protect some kind of natural resources. This is everyone's responsibility. And the second important thing, the second important natural resource, here see on the board, that it is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. So fossil fuels means these fuels are formed the remains of ancient plants and animals. Remains of ancient plants and animals are turns in the way of fossil fuels. These fossil fuels are highly helpful for us. So fuel, this one we will use for the production of energy. By burning of different fossil fuels, we will get heat energy, light energy and electricity also. So such a way we are utilized the energy what it is already present in this fossil fuels, children. So here if you observe percentage of consumption of some resources in India. So in India, how much percentage we are utilizing, we are consuming these natural resources, different natural resources, different fossil fuels and their percentage in India I am talking. So in India we are utilizing 7% of natural gas, 24% of oil and 24% of waste and 1% of nuclear, 2% of other and 42% of coal. All these are the fossil fuels. So the remains of the ancient living forms onwards we will get these fossil fuels from the deeper layers of the soil onwards. So these fossil fuels we will use for different purpose, for the running of vehicles and for working of different machines. So we will use this fossil fuel. Without fossil fuel we can't get energy. Nowadays all types of maximum, all types of vehicles are moving with the help of fossil fuels. We are getting electricity from the fossil fuel. Different machines are running with the help of this fossil fuel. So that much importance is there to this fossil fuel. That fossil fuel, one see on screen, such a kind of fossil fuels are we used for the purpose of transportation and to heat different substances in our house and to make medicines, cosmetics, plastics, lubricants. That means these are the petroleum byproducts. So from the petroleum onwards we are able to prepare different kinds of synthetic materials, those all these are. And to manufacture electronic devices, to make clothes, shoes and other accessories, means this is also one of the raw material in the production of these all substances. Directly only with the fossil fuels we can't prepare some of the goods from this, but the fossil fuels are also one of the byproducts or the raw materials in the preparation of these different kinds of goods what we are showing on the screen. So like that fossil fuels helps us a lot. How can we conserve this fossil fuel? Nowadays which one we are using in an indiscriminate manner, means that is one of the important natural resource, fossil fuel. Day by day we are using more and more vehicles. Nowadays we are not giving importance to the public transport. Totally everyone are purchasing their own vehicles like cars, jeeps and all. Their own two-wheelers and four-wheelers are there. Everyone are showing interest to go along with their individual vehicles only. But these will consume lot of fuel. So that's why we need to conserve the fossil fuels. We need to think about the alternative methods of these fossil fuels. These are conserved by reducing the amount of energy used every day. So how much we are utilizing that one, we will try to reduce the usage. Reducing the amount of driving, insulating a house and using energy efficient appliances all help conserve energy. So unnecessarily we will switch on different kinds of devices in our house. Those will consume lot of electricity. Again for the production of electricity we need to use either water or wind or the fossil fuels only. That's why we should use in a appropriate manner these natural resources. Conservation is important for other natural resources along with this fossil fuel. Not only fossil fuels, we need to concentrate on others also. Alternative fossil fuels. So which fossil fuel we will get continuously? We should move towards to that area. That is, see here, water, wind, solar or atomic energy is an alternative. These we will get continuously, especially solar energy. Continuously we are able to get this energy. So when we will start to utilize wind energy and solar energy, then we are able to protect our fossil fuels. Why here I am not stressing the water means, because nowadays water is also, we are facing the scarcity in the water. That's why solar energy is the best option. That is the best alternative source of energy. Wind and solar energy are so plentiful that they are considered inexhaustible sources. They won't exhaust, continuously we will get, so we better to move towards to the solar energy and wind energy, children. So in that point of view, the scientists are discovered another kind of alternative method for the fossil fuel, that is biodiesel. Biodiesel. What you are seeing on screen, that is the Jatropha plant. So the seeds of Jatropha provides us the biodiesel. So under optimum conditions, Jatropha seeds can yield up 40% oil content. We are able to get that much oil content from this. And lifespan is also so high, 30 years of time. Jatropha doesn't need irrigation. We no need to waste the water for the growth of this Jatropha because it will grow in sandy areas. After crushing the seeds for oil, the leftover seed mass is also we are able to utilize for the purpose of fertilizer. So by getting the information regarding to Jatropha, Reliance Industries selected 200 acres of area at Kakinada and they started to grow this Jatropha plants. So that's why that much importance is there to this plant and we are able to get a huge amount of biodiesel. And not only this one, biogas also helps for us a lot. From the waste materials onwards, we are able to get this biogas, gobar gas. All these are the alternatives for these fossil fuels, because with this also we are able to cook, we are able to heat the water, and we are able to produce electricity for what is the street lights and all and all. So that's why we are able to utilize such a kind of things also. The next important thing is minerals. So minerals, different kinds of raw materials like iron, like aluminium, bronze, copper, gold, silver, different kinds of minerals we are getting from the soil onwards. So diamond, the hardest mineral, can be used for various industries for different purpose, and we are getting different stones, graphite and all for building materials, and we are preparing different kinds of jewelries items, that is with the help of platinum, gold, silver and all. So like that, minerals are highly helpful for us. And in these minerals, so how we will get mineral? That is through mining, mountain top removal. With the help of such a kind of process we will get these minerals, but that it will give lot of pollution to the environment. So while we are extracting the minerals, we have to follow two important methods, that is less wasteful mining. So less waste, which one will produce, that kind of practices we need to follow for mining. Along with that, recycling, very important thing to protect, to conserve the minerals, recycling. So if you observe the Japan, their car manufacturers recycled the raw materials used in the formation of automobiles. And if you observe the United Nations, there also one third of the iron produced from the recycling automobiles. So when we are also able to utilize this recycling process in such a manner, then we are also able to protect our natural resources, minerals. So day by day we are using in a vast manner, that it is decreasing these minerals. If these are decreased that much percentage, we can't transform these minerals to our future generation. So that's why we need to conserve these natural resources. So conservation is very, very important. In our Indian tradition teaches us each and every organism is also interlinks with another organism. Each and every organism also depends on another organism. So that's why we shouldn't take in a negligible manner about any kind of the organism also. So based upon this only, our Srimati Indira Gandhi, she launched World Conservation Strategy on 6th March. On 6th March, here you are able to see the Indira Gandhi launched World Conservation Strategy on 6th March 1980. 6th March 1980 she started. So conservation is very important. Otherwise, if you are unable to give the time to replenish the natural resources, already we said the renewable resources also going to be non-renewable. So that's why for conservation, we need to follow 3 R's technique, 3 R's method. So what logo here you are seeing, that logo is very important to you children, that is regarding to recycling. So recycle, reduce, reuse. These are the 3 R's method we need to follow to conserve different kinds of natural resources. So what is reducing, reusing, recycling means? Reduce, buy in bulk and purchase products in less packaging. We have to reduce the wastage. Before we are throwing outside any kind of thing, once again we should think about that. So while you are purchasing different kinds of things, whether this is useful for us or not. So we are, that one first of all only we need to decide, and then only we need to purchase. So many times we will purchase in shopping different kinds of things, but later we won't use that one. After few days it will it's not works, so we will add that one in the wastage. So such a way we are forming huge amount of waste. That waste is spoiling the environment. So that's why we have to reduce the waste first of all. Then only we are able to protect some kind of things and goods. Next, reuse. Alternative use for things you throw away. Which one you felt that is not useful? Such a kind of things we should prepare in somehow decorative way, and that one again we will try to use, then also that it will reduce the wastage. Recycle, which some kind of metals and some kind of plastic goods, paper and all we need to recycle, that one also helps to conserve the nature. So we have to look all these and we have to think in innovative manner, and we are able to reduce. So to conserve different kinds of things, we need to follow this 3 R's method. And here we must and should know about, see on the board, we must and should think about conservation groups also. So of course we know conservation with this, but conservation groups also there, like International Union for the Conservation. So this one we call it as IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature. So this is the alliance of different government and public groups founded in 1948. In 1948. So what is the importance of this IUCN? How it helps for us? The aim of convey the urgency of conservation issues to the public and policy makers. So it will convey. So this is must and should to conserve. It will intimate us. Then only we are able to realize. So what we are doing to help the international community to try to reduce the species extinction. So it will always concentrate on the endangered species. Always it will collect the data of endangered and extinct species, and they will convey that one to the international community. Then only that governments are cautious to protect these different kinds of species. And to provide scientifical based information on the status of species and subspecies at a global level. So scientifically it will conduct the survey, and finally they will say to us how many organisms are in the endangered condition, how many are extinct, what are the drawbacks in the maintenance of national parks, and how we are threatening the wildlife, and what are the conservation techniques we need to follow that wildlife. To provide information to guide actions to conserve biological diversity. So it will provide the entire information regarding to the biodiversity, then only each and every one are realized, and they will start to conserve certain kind of species in the surroundings. Not only this one, so many international organizations are also, they are also looking on the what is that rainforest areas, on the national parks, and the animals which are going to be extinct and all and all. So many governments are also following the model of IUCN. They are inspired with the IUCN ideology, and they are also following the IUCN, and they are also started to conserve different kinds of species. Here not only the national organizations, IUCN and all, each and every government also individually should form some acts, some laws to protect different kinds of organisms. Otherwise, organisms day by day will extinct, and finally the entire ecosystem will disturb. So that's why it is everyone's responsibility, children, to realize and to know about the things or the natural resources which are present around us, and small steps only become a great efforts. First we have to start with a small step, then that only establishes and expands, and it will become a great effort. So everyone has to participate in the conservation of different types of natural resources like forest, water, air, and different kinds of living forms which are present around us. So, this natural resources lesson will say for us how to conserve the different kinds of natural resources. Thank you, children.